Welcome to the Bethel Church Sermon of the Week. We hope you enjoy this message by Pastor Bill Johnson. For more information about this podcast and other resources, visit bethel.com.
All of us have opinions about everything. And I have discovered that the spirit of offense is on discount right now. And you can get 12 of those demons for the price of one if you want them. It's the most common thing I have seen in the last year has been that rampage of the spirit of offense. And so I just may add to it. I don't know. I'm just going to make a couple comments and I'll let you just kind of sort it out. And but I want to talk about, we've been closed, shut down in our corporate meetings. We've not been closed as a ministry. We've been, goodness gracious, I've been as busy as any season of my life and at home, especially because there's so little travel, and which I'm thankful for. I'm so glad to be able to have my time at home. But I want to make just a couple comments. These are not official comments. These are just the opinion of Bill. We are not closed on my part because we fear a disease. It is real, and I don't want to create any disrespect towards that, because I have two friends that died. They had pre-existing conditions, but it's real. It's real. I have friends that have suffered horribly. I don't. It's like a hot stove. I'm just not going to put my hand on it, but it doesn't mean I'm not going to have a stove, if that makes sense. So we're not closed down because I don't fear that disease at all. Just me personally, I'm not requiring that of anyone. We're not shut down because of government restrictions. This one may be the one that causes offense. I honor, I love, I pray for, I serve, but they approve abortion. They're not always right. They're not always right. They're humans. And I am going to obey the Lord over government restrictions. So we're not closed down for that. We're closed down because we love our city. That's why. 100%. That's why. We love our city. And to close down corporate gatherings in a local church for 9 months is an unusual sacrifice. But it is because we've loved our city, not because we have thought that meeting would hurt the city, but because it's interpreted by our city as a love gift. And even those who would disagree with us, it makes no difference. It's not public opinion that directs this movement. It is literally, it's our offering to the city that we love. Period. It's been 9 months. 9 months gestation is about to come to an end. I don't know how, I don't know when, but when it does, there'll be a birthing of something fresh and something powerful. The Lord is going to honor the most unusual offering. Some of you, it's been forced on you. Others of you have been wholeheartedly supporting the corporate decision that we've made as a leadership. And I get the mixed feelings. I got mixed feelings, goodness. Ask me in the morning, I may think different than I did the night before. You know, I'm like everybody around you. I have my thoughts and opinions on all of it. But sitting, you know, your opinion and mine, they really don't matter. The only thing that really matters is what is God saying. And that's what we're working hard to discover, is the heartbeat of God, to honor him in everything we do. And one person eats meat, the other person doesn't eat meat, in their efforts to honor God. So we have to create a little bit of flexibility in the way that we approach our honor to the Lord. So this is the stand we've taken. I do have a sense. I'm feeling the labor pains, and we're about to end 9 months. I am prophesying, but I'm not giving dates. I'm not doing dates, mates, you know, all that stuff. All right, that's enough there. I created just a big enough hole to crawl out of. All right. Here's what I want to do. I want to talk to you about one of my most favorite parts of the Christmas story. This has actually been on my mind for a couple weeks, and sometimes I don't have that kind of clarity in a direction very far in advance. But this has really been in my heart, on my mind for weeks. And I'm going to talk to you about a part of the story. It's in the Gospel of Luke. We're going to be reading out of Luke chapter 2. And I'm going to talk to you about Anna and Simeon. Those are two sometimes unsung heroes of this incredible Christmas story. But there's something about their story that really rocks my world. I don't talk about it often, but you know how we all have history with God in the Word. And there are certain things that they're kind of like on a compass. You have due north. There are certain things that the Lord has shown you in here, stories and examples, teachings, whatever, that they're kind of like due north. They're a reference point that you use to measure your own response to your life. And sometimes we sanitize the story because they're in Scripture, and we rob ourselves of the wonder and the adventure of what it would have been like to be in their shoes, and to be in the shoes of Anna and Simeon. And we'll go over their story in just a moment. But I need to set the stage. I need to create a context. And it'll sound a little strange to you to set it in the way I'm going to, but hopefully by the time I'm through, it'll make sense. And if it doesn't, it's still the Bible, and it's good. All right. Here's what I want to do. I want to read out of the Gospel of Matthew in the Sermon on the Mount. I want to read out of the 6th chapter. And this is a verse that I actually make reference to, probably a couple times a year, and have for quite a while, because it rocked me so deeply when I saw what the Lord was saying. The context in the Sermon on the Mount has to do with our response to money. Let me make this statement. Fear, worry, anxiety, that whole theme of emotions is released at our lives to distract us from our purpose and eventually reestablish our affection on something that's inferior. Fear, anxiety, worry, all those things are the enemy's attempt to distract me, and then once I'm distracted, to re-engage my affection on something that's inferior. But so is greed, lust. It's the other side of the same problem. Jesus deals with the whole thing of lust and greed here in Sermon on the Mount quite heavily. And in this portion, he talks about where your heart is, where your treasure is, there will your heart be also. And he's not talking against money. He's talking about heart. He's talking about the focus of our heart. So fear is as wrong as greed. Greed is as wrong as fear. And the reason is because both of them are attempts to distract or pull away my focus, my attention on the one thing I'm called to. And if the enemy can't get me to accept something, let's just go raw immoral. If he can't get me to accept something to shift from being moral to immoral, if he can't do that, then what he'll at least try to do is add to my moral conviction too many issues in life so that I spread myself so thin I'm ineffective. And then his desire is to pull me to defend my position outside of the Spirit of Christ. Abortion is wrong. It is wrong. It's as wrong as the sacrificing of children to Moloch in the Old Testament. It's just simply wrong. There's nothing about it that's right. And the enemy cannot get me off that bandwagon, so to speak. So what does he try to do? He tries to get me to operate in soulish flesh, carnality, accusation, bitterness, all those other things to defend my position on abortion. Does that make sense to you? In other words, he can't get me to compromise my value. So what he tries to do is to get me to overextend my value to where I operate outside of the Spirit of Christ. These issues of distraction are huge. And right now we have more distractions than we've ever had in our life. And let me just tell you, I'm in the middle. I feel the distraction. I'm not just talking about the obvious things, the political stuff, the racial stuff, the economic stuff. You know, we can just add a big list. I'm talking about the nature of our culture in our country where we are inundated with the opinions of other people. Oh goodness, I'm gonna jump into a deep hole that I can't climb out of, and I don't want to do that. And I actually like social media. I do. I like the fact I can go on Instagram. I can look up fly fishing pictures and find them. It's like the magazines I used to buy. You know, I can look up deer hunting. I can look up fountain pens. I can look up anything. Hot sauce. They're all in here. I look at them. I have a good time. I say, oh, that hot sauce looks good, and I will order it. And I can do it in just a heartbeat. I love that. This is just Christian recreation in my. But here's the problem.